There's just something really nourishing about an urban garden setting.
So a piece of community food security is immediate food access and having availability to grow your own food if need be. If you don't have access to a grocery store, or if you need to supplement the offerings you can get from a corner store or grocery store, but a lot of it's got to do with just general household security, food security, financial security.
I mean, I always have joked that, it's kind of my therapy to go garden and do stuff like that. And there's no real grocery store here, and for generations, some of these people have been eating nothing but like ding-dongs and soda for breakfast. And I mean, we eat better, we have more food than we know what to do with during that period of time, and it certainly saves me money.
Gardening is good for food security in a pretty direct way, but I think it's also really good because it brings people together, and people start to just get their hands dirty as far as organizing. It's a chance to meet other gardeners, it's a chance to work on something that's collective rather than more or less private.
So Avondale is where it all started. That was the first lot that Franklinton Gardens had, and it was a community plot garden where folks have a little section, like a 4x8 foot piece of land, and you grow there. So that's what Avondale still is today. However, Franklinton Gardens has kind of grew out of that and into being a nonprofit urban farm. This year we had a community engagement event, and it was great. A lot of new excitement got put into to Avondale. We've got quite a few new members, and I'm really looking forward to this year.
We're meeting regularly now, and all of us are invested as things get rolling and moving in the direction of self-governance. Then the Franklinton Garden folks can kind of back off and let the community group kind of drive their own train.
It can be really daunting for a number of individuals on a household level to start their own garden and see it through for the year, where if they can be part of a community garden, they can learn from others around them about how to grow food.
Gardening really is all about stability. Like, you want to be able to have a consistent space to do the most that you can with that space. People, are very uncertain whether they'll be here from year to year. And at the same time, there's like so much interest too. I hear a lot of people saying, well, I want to get into gardening. So a community garden has to fill the gap where people are interested in gardening, but they maybe don't own their house or are just really interested in gardening with other people.
I think Avondale can definitely be a catalyst for bringing people together. I've committed to 3 plots there, and I have 2 neighbors here right in my apartment building. Richard is one of them and Rebecca is another, and we've all agreed that we're going to work together and plant our annuals together. And Richard has never gardened, but Richard likes to eat. So Richard and Rebecca and I are going to have fun just kind of, doing gardening at Avondale.
It's one of the best ways to meet your neighbors is with the crate of tomatoes, and I really love that part of gardening because it's just so bountiful. You go from working your 9-to-5 job and barely having enough money to pay the bills to being out in your field and you've got barely enough hands to bring in all the tomatoes.
Compared to a community garden that I imagine being the typical community garden, which is just people in the neighborhood getting together, this is that, but then there's also a small urban farm involved too, which means that there's just like tools and knowledge, and overwhelmingly the asset that I want to celebrate here is how much people care about other people in the neighborhood, especially young people.
I know when I was a kid, if you didn't have anything to do, you usually got in trouble. So if folks can go to Avondale, meet up, be constructive, do some gardening, I think that would be a really good outlet for some of the kids.
If you can catch the kids while they're young and spark an interest, I think there's a lot more hope,
I would love to see Avondale And Franklinton Gardens as well become something for folks who haven't really gotten into the dirt, haven't grown a plant from a little seed into a big meal, quite a few meals usually. So that's what I would like to see Avondale be, is that doorway to gardening that some of us never was open to.
My vision and my prediction is that this is going to have a big impact and a sustaining impact on the neighborhood. Do you want a garden? Have you ever wanted a garden and you just never did? Avondale's calling. Come garden with us.